Hey guys, welcome to Being Extra. Today I'm joined by Ralph Macchio. No, sorry, by Ricky. How you doing?
I'm
How
good,
you
thanks,
doing,
man.
Ricky? Welcome back to the show. It's good to see you, man.
Thanks.
I'm loving the background. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I think we're on week 7 now of being at home, even though they lifted the ban to stay home. But I feel like we should probably just stay low for a little bit longer and see how this thing works out. But it's good, man. We had you know, we still got Netflix, we got new shows, and then last night was the Parks and Rec reunion.
Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about on this show. We're going to get in depth about everything that happened, our favorite moments. We're going to talk about some memories from our favorite parts of the original show. And oh man, it was a great reunion, right? I had so much fun watching it, listening to it. Just some old jokes came back and some new stuff, and it was just great all around. And I don't know, man. I will hope they do more reunions. I think it's gonna spark a chain of reunions from other shows, don't you think?
It's possible, man. I mean, I know the Fresh Prince cast. They had like their whole Zoom chat with everybody from the cast, so that was cool. But they actually Parks and Rec just did the whole show. Got everybody involved. I got it playing on over there, so if I point over there, it's to the TV. But yeah, man, they got everybody involved. They brought back some old characters. They actually had a legit story that flowed well, because everybody was in different places, but it was like, hey, it's not weird that Andy and April are in two separate places because they got April's inside the house, Andy's locked inside the shed. So you had all these things that worked out perfectly. So it was fun. It was entertaining. It was, nostalgia.
I think they did it perfectly. Yeah, how they played in today's time and what was going on in the world, and they were able to play it off. Yeah, and I like that it wasn't just them reminiscing of the show. It was actually an extra episode of the show. It was the characters being in quarantine. I thought that was the funniest thing. But before we get into it, let's save it for a second because I wanted to talk to you about some stuff that's going on in the movie world first, so we can get
Okay.
all our thoughts out. So in movie news today, uh, they said that Tenet is not being delayed.
Gotcha.
Christopher
Okay.
Nolan had a big role in that. He pretty much lobbied for the movie not to be delayed, and it's still coming out this summer. How do you feel about that?
That's gonna make a lot of money, as long as people feel safe to go to the movies, because that's gonna be probably one of the biggest movies of the summer before all Corona happened.
Yeah, and movies are starting to open. Obviously, movies first opened in China, and the movie theaters first opened in China. Now they're going to start opening here in parts of the U.S. I think they're going to have arranged seating to where you have to have a seat in between, I believe. I think that's what I heard.
It sounds about right. I mean, you got to do the whole social distancing thing, and people aren't going to be really comfortable, squeezed into a movie theater with random people. So yeah, it's going to be like that for the first couple months back, probably for the rest of the year.
You know what? I'm cool with that. I don't want to fight somebody for the armrest. That was the worst thing. When there's some movie theaters that had like the one armrest, and you're like fighting for it, like, you asshole.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like, yeah, I'll just put it here
just,
on my lap for the next 3 hours.
yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm excited about that. That's a movie that I thought we were gonna have to wait for, but it's not being delayed. Not like, Black Widow and James Bond or Fast and Furious. So that's something we have to look forward to. Also in movie news, moving on. Have you seen the Universal versus AMC debacle?
Oh, they're not gonna because of trolls, right? Is that the reason they're gonna do it?
See, so what happened was that, yeah, they Universal showed Trolls World Tour on streaming. People still had to buy it, but it was successful. And pretty much AMC said, oh, it was only successful because people were in quarantine. That might be the case, but Universal still had to make money on it. So AMC said, we're not going to show any more Universal movies. Like, indefinitely. I don't know if that's true or because Universal has like Fast and Furious. I can't think of the other properties right now, but I mean that's a big statement to make, don't you think?
There's a bunch of other movies out there, and there'll be other movie theaters. So not just AMC or Regal will be having this issue. It'll be those two, but there's some other movie theaters that'll be broadcasting and showing Universal movies.
Yeah, it was like it was because AMC said, the theater business has been hurt ever since streaming started.
Yeah.
So I think AMC felt like it was a slap in the face, them gloating about how Trolls World Tour did in streaming. And the theaters are like, well, you guys did so much marketing for it, and it was supposed to come out in theaters, but you guys pretty much went behind our backs and put it out to the people in streaming because the theaters were waiting for some revenue. But my personal opinion is that nobody could have predicted the coronavirus. Universal is a business; they have to make money, and they did. I guess their partnership is tainted because of that. But you're right; there's other theaters who will happily have Universal play their movies in it.
I mean, there's going to be tons of Universal movies. They got the whole entire Fast and Furious franchise, so that's huge. Universal's got the Monster Universe that they're going to probably try and reboot again. So you got all those movies, and it stinks that they don't want to do any of them because Trolls didn't want to wait to come out. But just think of it this way: Trolls came out, it was big on video demand, and it will probably be nominated for Best Picture in the Oscars.
Well, Best Picture or Best Animated Picture. Which is a good segue because it's taking me to my next piece of news. I think you might have seen these. Streaming films can qualify for the Oscars this year. All streaming films. Because usually the rule is the movie has to be at least in one theater to qualify for the Oscars. Which is what they did with like Roma and Manchester by the Sea. They're technically Amazon. It was an Amazon film and a Netflix film, but it did have a limited release in theaters, so it could qualify for the Oscars. Now, do you think they should keep that rule throughout history, or is it just like a one and done?
I think I heard that it had to be planned. There was going to be a theater release for it. So they could just, and then they can have the whole movie come out on streaming, and then they can get nominated. So I guess you could just say it was going to be put in the movie theaters, because the way they were doing it was some of the movies I would go to, like Netflix, were in the theater for just like a week or two, and then it was like, all right, then we're bringing like Dolomite to Netflix, and that got nominated, or it was, I think Wesley Snipes should have got it nominated, but they had tons of movies like that back last year. And the streaming world's getting more and more bigger movies. They get all these things, and you just have to. It's where we are in the future right now. Where we are going, it's streaming. I still support the cinemas and still like the experience of going out there and being in the environment of everybody else. When you see these big things, like Endgame would not have been that special when Cap picked up the hammer. I mean, we would have probably, been like, oh, in the house, but it would have been like 3 people maybe. But you're in the movie theater with everybody packed and everybody's on edge, and then he picks it up and then the whole entire theater goes crazy. So you got those moments that you're going to miss out on with the streaming at home stuff. So, but I mean, it's where we are.
So you're right about there's some experiences that you get in movie theaters that you're never going to get at home, no matter how much surround sound you have, no matter the size of your screen. Just like there's stuff you're never going to get. The movie for me last year that gave me that experience was 1917. The one continuous shot trick, and the sound was superb. It was amazing. And you felt like you were the third person following behind the soldiers. Like you were literally behind them going through everything because of the way it was shot. The camera was following them, but it felt like you were that third person following them into war and, going through the bunkers and all that. So that for me, I saw 1917 again at home. It was great. It just did not feel the same. And then I get that experience again. Same thing with Endgame. Rewatched Endgame about a week ago. Amazing. But, just that on your left scene where all the portals start opening, I'm never going to feel like that again from when I started in movie theater, for the first time. And it's never going to be the same. So it's just personal preference at this point. And I feel like the indie films are going to shoot more towards streaming services, They could get funding much easier. They can get more viewers. I feel like the indie films are just going to, go towards streaming. And then the bigger, what they call studio films, are going to, have the big releases in the theaters. And that might be a problem for movie theaters because, they need to sell tickets to stay open,
Yeah.
and they need to sell popcorn because that's where they make their money, in the concession stand. That's why they're so expensive, because they barely make anything from tickets. They're making money from the food.
Mm,
But
yeah, food
yeah,
expensive nowadays.
Oh, dude, don't tell me about it, man. I've been eating ramen noodles and mac and cheese for like the past 2 weeks. That it brings me back to my college days. That's what I used to
that's what I was
eat.
about to say. It's college dorm days right there.
Oh
Ramen
man,
noodles,
I
grilled
know,
cheese.
I know. Except I'm married. That's the difference. My next piece of news. It seems like the first city that's gonna open back to filming to production is gonna be Vancouver.
Okay.
So yeah, great. It worries me a bit because we live in the Atlanta area, and we of course, you and me work in the film industry, and I feel like, do you think because Vancouver's opening first that some of the productions here will go over there to finish up, or do you think that won't have an effect?
I would think that's a possibility. You got a lot of things that are behind schedule, and you just got to get these things out. So they would just want to shoot them. I mean, probably it'd be, justly a big cost of switching places, switching locations. I mean, but there's studios up there, and they do movies there all the time, so they can go there. Like I know Ryan Reynolds did the first Deadpool up there, so there's nothing that's saying he can't go up there and finish whatever movie he's currently working on that he might have been shooting down here.
That's true. That's true. I mean, that would hurt us though a little bit because depending on when we open here in the Atlanta area, it might hurt us because they might just finish productions in other places. I heard here in Atlanta might be August or September. Then that's just a rumor. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it's just what I've been hearing, just to get everything back on track. A lot of the crew members went back home to California or to wherever they're from. So just to get everybody back here, ready to film, that might take a while to get back up. So if, a city like Vancouver is already up and running, and like, hey, studio spaces are open and this is open, you're right. They might go finish up there. And it'll be a good thing for the movies that they can finish on schedule, but it might be a bad thing for us. But hopefully everything works itself out. And I feel this was my next topic with you. Do you think, because the last time you and me talked, we talked about how big the crews are, remember?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's going to change? Like, crews are going to be brought down in background? Like, maybe they're going to start writing scenes with less background or start CGIing background instead of having more background in scenes. Do you think?
Maybe for the rest of the year with everything going on, because there were some scenes that the backgrounds got 30 to 60 people, so they would cut them down, use a smaller amount of us, and the crews definitely would have to be probably a little bit smaller crews. Because I remember I was reading something about Tyler Perry, what his game plan was, and he was saying that the actors and the crew would get tested when they come in, and then they would stay there pretty much for the whole duration of the season. So it kind of just be like a long summer camp.
Wait, stay there, like live there?
Yeah, because he's got the whole entire, the field. He's got the whole entire base. So he can build hotels, which you were saying. So the cast and the crew can stay. He shoots things real quick. The guy works super quick with everything he does. So he can shoot a season in 3 weeks, maybe less. And they're there just like a long-term summer camp, and a little bit longer than normal. So they just come, they just work. Background, it's going to be weird. They might just end up green screening us in, and who knows? It's a lot of uncertainties of how they go forward, but stay within the guidelines and the safety of everybody.
Yeah, dude. Do you remember Avengers Endgame, the scene we did? Did you get CGI green screened? Where we have to walk back and forth, run back and forth. We have to go in pairs or sometimes alone. Did you have that?
But we did the whole thing. We ran that way, that way, that way, back forth. So, and then you watch the movie and it's like nothing's in there. But yeah, they can just pretty much just clone us on camera.
Dude, that cloning is an Easter egg. Not just.
You gotta find it. And you might not know which one of it is. It might be Jorge or it might be me, you see, but it's okay.
You don't know which one it is. That's an Easter egg. These extras, somehow it connects, you know. The start of fan theory. That's funny, dude. Yeah. You know, everything could be a fan theory nowadays. Well, I did a small video on that. I'll plug it at the bottom of the screen about how Namor might have been referenced in the deleted scene, but it hasn't been out or spoken about, so we'll see. Okay, dude. Well, I'm ready to talk Parks and Rec.
Just over 5 years ago, we all said goodbye to NBC's iconic hit series, Parks and Recreation.
That is a series wrap.
And tonight, the entire cast is getting back together for a one-night-only reunion special.
We're back. What?
Let's do this.
All right.
All right, dude. Well, unpopular opinion. I like Parks and Rec better than The Office.
What?
Don't hit me.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. I watched all of Parks and Rec first before I watched The Office. I'm still currently trying to finish The Office. I think I'm in like season 8.
Something like that. And but I watched Parks and Rec all the way through in, less than 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, dude. I've seen Parks and Rec, the whole series, about 4 times. So, I love every second of it. I like The Office. I really like The Office. I just, I connect them more with Parks and Rec and the characters, I care more about where their stories were going. So, I got stuck on it. Like, I really got addicted to Parks and Rec, and it was just such a great show. And, dude, like, is it true they added that last, season? Like, it was supposed to end one season before? That's what I heard.
Oh, that's possible. I never heard anything about that, but I can see that. Just like, let's just bring one more back.
All right, dude, well, let's get into the reunion. Well, I'm going to start by saying that I'm kind of sad that Leslie was still not governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because where Parks and Rec ended, she was going to run for governor.
Yeah, I was trying to remember exactly where everybody ended the last season with. Because I was like, I know Ben was going to Washington, and then Andy and April had a kid. So I was like, where was everybody watching the reunion again? Probably should have got refreshed, but you can pick up on it right away.
No, you're good, dude. I mean, okay, the way Parks and Rec ended, it was that, Leslie and Ben were moving to Washington. Yeah, Andy and April were also moving to Washington, but what they showed was like way in the future, what they were all going to do, have kids, run for governor. So what I'm speculating, and this wasn't, talked about on the reunion, is if this was right after the show ended or way in the future. So, I feel like it was like right after the show ended because, Ben was still a congressman. Andy and April still didn't have kids in the reunion. And, Leslie wasn't governor. So that's what makes me to believe that it's not way in the future. It's like right after the show ended that this reunion happened, I believe.
Yep, that's very true. I mean, it was interesting seeing all those characters back in.
You had Bobby Newport. So Paul Rudd starts the show, and that was one of my favorite characters on the show. And he has no idea what's going on, but he's like, yeah, they asked me to read this thing, and I'm just reading it. And he's like, what happened?
We hope you enjoyed this Parks and Recreation special. What is she talking about? Something going on? I haven't watched the news lately. What?
Yeah, dude. When I saw Paul Rudd, I'm like, oh, this is great. And he's in character. He's like in the character of like I'm somewhere in Switzerland. Oh my God, that was a great start to the show. That was great, and I love that nobody wants to talk to Gary.
Yes, that
Gary, Terry, Gergich, something like that.
Yeah.
Because nobody says his like real name, and nobody wants to talk to him. But he's already mayor.
So what's new, Mayor Gergich? How's Pawnee doing?
Well, everybody comes back. Including the TV host John Clemezzo and Pert Hapley. Dude, Pert was my favorite, like from the TV host. the thing about this is that it's happening. That's how he would talk, kind of like Yoda-ish. He would pronounce everything that was happening.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, and the it that you heard was the things that these people just said.
So, what were some of your favorite things from the reunion show?
Let's see. Paul Rudd definitely making an appearance was awesome. Then they had tons of other things. It was the fact that, well, okay, they had Tammy 2 in there, and they found a way to get her in there that made sense because the two actors are actually husband and wife. So therefore, you know, she's there, and you can find some way to get it in the story, and it's like, oh, she comes, she wants to try and break into the house, and they got her tied up, and it was perfect. They nailed that part because they was just like, how can we get as many characters in as possible? And then it's like, well, these two people live together, so let's find a way to get her involved.
Apparently she's been camping outside this whole time, waiting for just the right moment to strike. I think her intention was to join us in our marital bed.
Chris Pratt's whole entire thing, he went with Burt Macklin in the beginning, and then he goes to Johnny Karate at the end, back to Andy Dwyer, and he does the song. That was great. It was so fun seeing all these characters back to life for one more night.
Dude, everybody nailed their parts. Like they never forgot how to play them. That's what I thought. Everybody, I love how they did the Andy and April thing where he locked himself like in the shed or something, so that way they wouldn't be seen together. I thought that was great.
Okay, where's Andy?
Andy, Ron's on!
Hey, Ron!
Where are you, son? Why are you in another room? Are you quarantining?
No, well, kinda. Locked myself in the shed. I can't get out.
I feel like Aubrey Plaza, that's just her, that's how her personality, so she has no problem acting like April. Did you see that before the reunion started, they showed some of the auditions? Did you get to see that?
Yes. Yeah, I did see that. That was really cool, man.
So I like that they showed Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler auditioning together. Like the chemistry they had was amazing. It was just awesome. This was before Guardians as well, right? Before, Chris Pratt got his big break in Guardians, right?
Yeah, it wasn't until the last season that's when Chris Pratt went to do Guardians, because you can tell like he's big, Andy, and then he goes to the last like season or two, and he's like trimmed Andy. So yeah, you can see the weight difference. And it's like, oh, this is when he left to do Guardians.
Dude, I recently watched that episode, and the reason they explain it, so Andy's talking to Ben, and Ben's like, so you just stopped drinking beer? And that's how you lost all the weight? Like, that's the only way they could explain it. So they like, you just stopped drinking beer? He's like, yep. So how much beer did you drink? He's like, oh, it's too much. Dude, is that a Burt Macklin thing I'm seeing behind you?
Yeah, right there, yeah.
Dude, can you put it up to the camera? That's awesome.
Get my book out of the way. Yeah, Burt Macklin right there.
That's Burt Macklin, dude.
Prized possessions.
That's awesome, dude. I love that. I love that, man. I need to start a Funko Pop collection, dude.
Yeah, it's I mean, luckily I haven't bought anything. Well, it's because I haven't had money, but it's an addicting kind of hobby. So
I have nowhere to put anything. That's why I haven't bought it. Like, my computer takes up most of the living room. So
That's more useful.
yeah, but I still want my collection when I buy a house. And yeah, dude, I was gonna talk about
you buy one and then you won't stop.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's the thing. And I know they have like limited edition ones that you can only get at Comic-Con, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rare ones. They come out. There's only a certain amount that were made.
Have you seen that documentary about the Funko Pops, how it got started and how it got made?
No, but I probably should watch that.
Very good documentary. It ends with the big store they have, the big Funko Pop store that they created. Dude, it's an awesome documentary. I recommend it. So Ben Wyatt, he was one of my favorite bits in the reunion. How, because he's in quarantine, he's gonna do Constantine and the claymation. He said Constantine, the claymation movie. I was like, what?
6 words, babe. Cones of Dunshire, the claymation movie. The entire story just popped into my head.
I'm like, this is blowing my mind. Please make it. Please just make it. That would be great. Oh my god. That was one of my favorite things when Ben was out of work and he started making claymation movie. And he's like, it was only like 5 seconds. He's like, oh my god, I told Leslie it was the equivalent to Avatar. Like, what was I thinking? It was 5 seconds. Dude, I love Ben in this, and I love that Ben never still doesn't care about little Sebastian. When they start singing, he's like, guys, my battery's gonna die.
This is a long song.
Shut up, Ben!
Yeah, that was the fact they got that together. They all sung the song. It was just it hits you. It hits you in a soft place, you know, because that's where little Sebastian is. He's in our hearts.
Don't lie, dude. You sang the song too, huh?
Of course. Of course I did. Oh yeah.
I was like this with my phone. I was like,
Great, man. It was just a whole entire trip. I mean, it sucks it was only 30 minutes, but, you know, because you wish it was an hour. But they got everything in there. They kept it tight. They got all the extra characters in there somehow with the commercials, or they had their own talk shows. They brought them back because it was like you have everybody doing their little video chat of the main cast, and then how are you going to get these other characters involved? Because they're not going to be in the whole entire chat line that they had going on because they didn't work at the department. So you were like, and that's like, well, let's bring back their shows. So you had this all going on, and it was fun, man. It was really fun. It makes me wish that they would just go back and do another season, but everybody's too busy. You know, everybody's got something else going on. I'm sure it would be difficult to try and get that one more season.
if they could do like a final season, like miniseries type of thing, where we can see everybody end up like Leslie Governor, you know, April and Andy with kids, something like that. That I think we would all love that, you know. And it has happened, you know, like Roseanne came back, even though that went off the air. Full House, Fuller House, you know, that continuation. Cobra Kai. It's just there are these things that people are yearning for and they want to see where their lives are at. And I feel like The Office is another one, but Parks and Rec is definitely one I want to see, like Leslie Knope become president or governor or whatever. The next step the next big step she's gonna take.
I just want to see all those characters just back, like wherever the story goes, you know, I'll follow along because I just want to see all those characters back on screen together. And NBC's got their new app coming out, the Peacock.
Peacock. Yes.
So it's like possibly because HBO's got the thing, and aren't they trying to bring Friends back?
Well, there's a Friends reunion. It's a table read.
That's it. No. Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be, yes, like a new episode, kind of like the Parks and Rec thing, but they were gonna be together and they're gonna do a table read. Now, that's what they were planning before quarantine. So now during quarantine, I'm wondering if they're gonna do a Parks and Rec style thing where everybody's in quarantine and, you know, it's like Joey in his house being funny and Chandler and Monica and something like that going on. They can copy the Parks and Rec style and it'll work.
They just set a trend.
Yeah, instead of trying to have all these reunions going on, that would be great. Oh, I love when Burt Macklin, Johnny Karate came out, and he's like, "This might never end. This might never ever end." And I was just like laughing so hard.
Things will go back to normal. They just have to. And it might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next week. It might not be a year or 100 years or 1,000 years. It might never happen. Dude.
It got like real serious, and Ben was like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Like it could be a month, 2 months, or never. It could be like this forever. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
That's not the tone we're going for right now.
And it was always like Ben, always like the one that was worried about Andy when like they went to England. The episode they went to England, and he's like, "Hey, look, it's Hogwarts." It's like, you know, Hogwarts is fictional. It's important to me that you know that.
Hogwarts is fictional. Do you know that? It's important to me that you know that.
Yeah, they had a lot of good times together. Like when he choked him out at the Halloween party.
I love that relationship they had when they lived together. That was great. Dude, I was gonna briefly talk about Aziz. I'm glad he got to play his role again and, you know, be himself and do the whole treat yourself thing with Donna. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So from the commercials you were talking about, my favorite was Jeremy Jams.
It's funny because I was thinking about giving myself a haircut like that too.
How am I, Dr. Jeremy Jam, doing right now? Well, guess what? I'm doing great. Gave myself this pretty sweet quarantine haircut. Totally nailed it.
My hair is all over the place. That's why I've been wearing hats every time I'm on the show because it's too ridiculous to be on camera. But yeah, I was thinking about giving myself a quarantine haircut, and it probably would end up just like that.
Are you gonna film it?
Yeah, it's possible. It'll be exclusive on your Being Extras show YouTube page. Follow it.
You know what? I'm gonna have my wife give me a haircut too, and I'll film it and I'll put it on this episode.
You should just shave it again, just like we're back on Deputy.
Hell no, dude. That was so. Quick story. Me and Ricky here. We were on the pilot for Deputy, and you can see us. I'll try to find the video and post it up there, or the screenshot. And I remember that the email said, or maybe I didn't read it correctly. Sometimes I don't read through the whole email. They're very long when you get booked on a show. And it said, you're going to get a haircut. And a haircut bump. I'm like, all right, haircut bump. When I get in line and I see people coming out pretty much bald, and I just hear the, I'm like, what did I do? And they just like go through me. I'm like, oh crap.
I thought it was gonna be like a flat top. That's what I was expecting us to get. You know, keep it short on sides, keep it a little flat top. But they were just like, wah, 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 and it was just like pretty close to being bald.
Yeah, dude, that's the baldest I've ever been. Like, that was crazy. I could feel my scalp. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And I took a couple pictures. I'm gonna post those up too. And the funniest thing is that I didn't tell my wife. And when I came home, she's like, what the hell happened to you? Like, are you in a gang? Like, what's going on? I just come with this shaved head. And she's like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, you know, the stuff we do for some roles. Well, speaking about that, and I really wanted to have longer hair because I'm always trying to grow it out for Stranger Things. And every time I get a haircut of some type, either on that or like before season 2 on Godzilla, they cut my hair. It's just like, I'm having no luck with that. And when I'm finally starting to grow my hair, quarantine starts, I'm like, great.
Perfect time to grow your hair out, dude.
Yeah, dude, you have it perfect for Stranger Things, actually. Are you really going to cut it?
We'll see. Right now, I'm just been real lazy. So that's why the beard's here and the hair's all there. Because it's just like, well, it's just going to keep going. And then the moment I do shave it, that's when they're like, all right, we're going to go back to shooting in 2 weeks.
Well, it looks neat, dude. You have it pretty good. Oh, okay, so something embarrassing about beard hair. I can't grow a beard to save my life. And I knew I was going to do this interview with you about, and, you know, talk about Parks and Rec. So I was going to try to grow out a mustache and dress up like Ron Swanson. And I couldn't, I couldn't grow anything. Like, I was going to, like, dress up like him, like, put my hair up like he did in the show, and like have the mustache, and it just didn't be like a Hispanic Ron Swanson, like Roberto Swanson, and it didn't work. I was like, oh, dude.
For actually Halloween this year, or last Halloween.
Cobra Kai, some of the crew members were doing a Halloween party, and I had no idea what I was going to do as my costume. So I just threw something together last minute, and I went as Ron Swanson. So yeah, it was perfect. It was when I had short hair, so I just slicked it back, and then I didn't have any facial hair, so I just got a fake mustache from Party City. I actually had this mug, this dinner detective mug, and I just kept filling it up with beer, and I would just sit there and I'd just drink.
You should have gone with a pound of bacon, and the mug just.
Oh, my girlfriend actually dressed up as Sunny Side Up egg, so it was perfect. Oh no, you were bacon, right? She was bacon. That's right, bacon and eggs. So we had the breakfast and Ron Swanson. It was perfect. We wish we'd probably got more pictures of it, but it was a good last minute Halloween idea.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Yeah, I was thinking 1 year to go as Burt Macklin, FBI, or like Johnny Karate. So that's an awesome idea. You can grow the mustache, so you have it perfectly, dude.
I've done the Burt Macklin one too, back when I used to live in Florida.
Really?
When like that's when I was like really into Parks and Rec, and I went as Burt Macklin, and it was got the coat, put FBI on the back, and then I had the khakis and like white sneakers.
You know what would be a cool costume? Like a Burt Macklin / Star-Lord costume. I kind of have like the Star-Lord costume underneath and like the Burt Macklin jacket. That would be a cool crossover costume.
Dragon Con, you can do that. Well, whenever if they're doing it this year, go ahead for Dragon Con, get the Star-Lord mask, get an FBI jacket, and then just have maybe one of his blasters.
Yeah, the mask, the jacket, khakis, and then blaster. Dude.
Just be like all Chris Pratt characters. Get yourself like a stuffed animal, Velociraptor, and then you can be Chris Pratt from Jurassic World 2, and then bam, you got everything covered.
Put it on a leash, the Velociraptor, and just drag it. Dude, that's awesome. Oh my God, we're just coming up with ideas now, dude. The one thing I did want to talk about, and this is not so much about the reunion, but about JJ's Diner. This whole thing where like I always wanted a JJ's Diner waffle. It's like the thing, like, you know, the Krusty Krab in SpongeBob, where you think it would be the most amazing burger in the world. I feel like that would taste like the most amazing waffle in the world, and I just always want it every time I see her eat a waffle. I'm just like, I want it so bad, dude. Like
Waffle House.
It's not the same. It's not.
You're an actor. You pretend that you're at JJ's Diner.
Right, dress up in a suit like Ben Wyatt. Just more whipped cream, please. Dude. Oh my God, that's awesome, dude. I'm happy that Jean-Ralphio came back. That was a fun little thing. I need to try to call the number. I'm gonna try to call the number, and if I get a result, I'll post it on this video. Like if I get any like voicemail thing where he talks in it, I will post it in this video.
Just record yourself, do a little like 1-minute video of you being on the phone, and be like, all right, here we go. We're gonna see if this works.
And I feel like he had a very successful year with Sonic, dude.
The fact I still haven't seen that. I didn't even know he was in that Sonic.
He's Sonic.
Oh, is he Sonic? See?
Well, hello. Where have you been hiding, you sexy little beast? It's your boy, John Ralphio. And guess who just got run over by a Porsche? This dude.
These are the things that I'm missing out on.
The guy who plays Jean-Ralphio is Sonic.
Did not know that. I know that Cyclops is in it. That's it. James Madison. I know he was in it, and Jim Carrey's in it. Those were the only two human people I knew were in the movie.
So yeah, Cyclops and Jean-Ralphio, dude. Jean-Ralphio was one. I loved like the little songs he did.
Yes, I was hoping he did his little singing thing.
Oh, also, dude, Grizzle is still a thing. I love that. It wasn't like Zoom or Skype. It was like Grizzle. It was the whole Grizzle thing going on with the video chat. That was awesome, dude.
Did you notice that everybody had points in like their bottom corner? It's like they say Grizzle points, and like it was for Donna, it was like gold member. So like her border was a different color. It was like a platinum status that she had or something like that.
Dude, I didn't notice that. No.
And then if you see what Gary's is when they finally get to him, it's negative points.
Yeah, he had negative points. Everybody has like positive and everything.
That's funny, dude. But it was a good reunion overall, man. I had fun with it. I was just like laughing at everything. I love that nobody wanted to talk to Gary.
It's still going on, even in a pandemic.
April was like, no. They were just like, oh my God. Dude, did you know that Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson, actually, like, one of his hobbies is woodworking?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of like interviews, like him. He does his own whiskey. Is it whiskey that he does?
Yeah.
He does his own whiskey, so he probably was holding it up when he did his thing. When he's like, "This is the only medicine that I need."
Lagavulin is his? No.
What's his whiskey, huh?
The Goblin.
The Goblin. Here's my whiskey. So, but yeah, he does his own woodwork because he makes like tables. I watch a bunch of like YouTube interviews that he does, and he's just pretty much this dude. You know, just without the mustache, because Ron Swanson's got the mustache and Nick Offerman doesn't. But yeah, He just does those things in real life. He's just that kind of dude.
Yeah, I hear that when he does a live show, like just talks about any topic, he starts with a big piece of wood and he just makes a canoe. And the show is over when he's done with the canoe. No joke. That would be an amazing show to watch. Just Nick Offerman making a canoe, talking about life, being very, just wise, and everybody just sitting there like, oh my God, it's Nick Offerman, dude.
There's a video. It's one of those like there's endless videos that they have, where it's like the fireplace for like Christmas time. So you have it there. There's one of Nick Offerman, and he's just sitting by the fireplace, just drinking his cup of whiskey, and it's just that on a loop for like 6 hours.
Dude, it's funny, dude. And I can't see Nick Offerman, like the movies he's done without the mustache is just like weird to me. I'm like, oh no. He looks great with the mustache or the beard. That's why I tried to grow it for this episode. It just didn't work. So whatever little stubble I had, I just shaved it. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I'm just like, this is not gonna work for the show, dude. Dude, yeah, Nick Offerman, he's my favorite character in the show after Andy. Andy's my second favorite. It's just great. All right, dude. Let me bring up some IMDb facts about Parks and Rec.
All right, let's do it.
You said, well, you already said one of them. Ron's second ex-wife, Tammy 2, is his real life wife. So that was pretty cool. Honestly, I found that out today, so I'm shocked when I was looking up these IMDb facts. Okay, another one. Amy Poehler was afraid that they were gonna make her kind of like Michael Scott in The Office. And she did not want to be that character. So she told the writers to make her character very good at her job. So that's the direction they took Parks and Rec. I think that's why Parks and Rec worked. Because she wasn't like the dumb boss. She knew what she was doing. She was obsessive, she would overwork. So that's one of the things they did Amy Poehler asked for that because Parks and Rec there was supposed to be an Office spinoff, and they didn't go along with it, and they created Parks and Rec instead. That's why it has that style fourth wall breaking where they talk to the camera. Yeah. Fun fact: there was a pilot here in Georgia that was supposed to follow the Parks and Rec style. It was called Hail Mary. Have you heard about it?
No, but that's awesome.
Okay, so quick story before I keep going with IMDb facts. I think this was my second year of doing background work. It was pilot season here in Atlanta. I remember I drove down to Macon for a pilot. Had no idea what it was about. And it was called Hail Mary. It's a story about a lady named Mary who is the mayor of a town. The town is in crisis, it's like in debt. They ran out of money. So the whole show is about her trying to save the town. That's why it's called Hail Mary. So the day we were shooting the pilot, and I heard that it was a Parks and Rec Office type show, the Retta, who plays Donna Meagle in Parks and Rec, they gave her a role in the show. So I'm like, oh my God, it's her. It's Donna. I was so happy to see her. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope this comes out. It just never came out. I don't know what happened. I'll do some research into it and see what happened to Hail Mary. But it was supposed to be the next Parks and Rec. I don't know what happened to that show, dude. It just it disappeared into thin air.
Damn. That stinks, man. That sounds like it would have been fun.
Yeah, and they would have filmed it here. That would have been maybe. But, because it was a pilot.
They would have at least done one season here if it would have worked, and then maybe gone to LA for the next one.
We'll see. Okay, back to IMDb facts. Okay. Chris Pratt was such a good physical comedian that frequently the writers will just write, Andy does something physical, and he will have to come up with something in the spot.
I know the one line when it's Leslie's, they showed this in the little documentary before when he's like, hey, I put all your symptoms in the computer and it says you might have connection, connection malfunctions or no? Connectivity issues. Connectivity issues, that's it.
Let's say I typed your symptoms into the thing up here and it says you could have network connectivity problems.
Andy was only supposed to appear as a guest in the first season, but they liked him so much, he got a role in the second season and so on. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. But I know that this was like his Chris Pratt's big break because he was. I think in L.A. he was living in his van. I want to say so. Like he was just trying, and then he got this, and he knocked it out of the park. So they just kept bringing him back for the rest of the series. So that was good for him, man, because we would have had Star-Lord we do today.
Yeah, dude, that's his big break, and I feel like that's the segue to him being Star-Lord, you know? But can you believe he was only supposed to be like just like a random character in the shine shoes, and that was it. And then they liked him so much that he actually got a big role in it. I think that's amazing. Okay, another IMDb fact. The map of Pawnee is just a flip version of Muncie, Indiana, because Pawnee is not real. People, Pawnee does not exist. We want to believe it. Maybe a Pawnee exists somewhere, but not in real life.
It's fictional.
It's fictional. It's important to me that you know it's fictional. I'm gonna add that on there. Nailed it. Damn, I'm a good actor. No,
It's important to me that you know that.
Okay, the Ann Perkins character was added to the show when Amy Poehler said she wanted the program to show a true female friendship, which she thought many TV programs lacked. So they just added her. See, Amy Poehler, I think she was a producer on it, right? On Parks? Yes. So she had a big say on whatever was going on. Mayfair Games, makers of Settlers of Catan, were contracted to make Ben Wyatt's Cones of Dunshire look like a professional board game. Instead, Mayfair Games made a playable game with a full set of rules.
I did not know that one either. That one's new to me.
Dude, that means that whoever owns that Cones of Dunshire board, dude, that would be an awesome prop to have.
I mean, right now it's the best time for board games. They should have handed it out, busted it out with the reunion show. Hot sauce.
All right, dude. Yeah, that's it. So, do you have anything else that you want to talk about that you remember from the reunion that you liked?
Let's see.
Or did we pretty much hit every note on it?
It was funny that they had Jerry and he couldn't get the filters to work. He ended up being a turd. He was an Insane Clown Posse member, and he was a dog.
Stop! She means that you're literally a dog. You put a dog filter on your head.
Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I just turned that off. Okay, is that better?
I love that. See, I liked also Chris. Not Chris Pratt, but the guy who plays Chris. He was like, oh, they have me donating blood 4 times a week. It's like, my blood type is just positive. I was like, what the fuck?
He was funny. His positivity in that role and his enthusiasm is always great. Like he's yelling at Ann Perkins, and she's they're in the same house, but he's just yelling it just all the way across. But that's how you make it work when you guys have to make it look like it's the same house, but you guys are clearly not in real life anywhere near each other. So
that was my favorite one. Yeah, but dude, it was just a great reunion, man. I hope that people, because people make petitions for anything nowadays. So I hope people make a petition to have a couple more episodes come out. Just like that. I love that. I love that format that they used, the way they did it. It was great. But the way they ended with the Little Sebastian song, it was amazing. I love that, dude.
That was a good, full circle, closure moment right there. Feel good moment for everybody to end the episode with. So left us off like, man, damn, I wish the show was still going on.
Okay, guys, thank you for joining us. That was a very fun episode reminiscing on Parks and Rec and talking about their reunion special. I'm glad to have you, Ricky, on here with us. Don't forget to follow Ricky at TheRick415, and thank you guys for joining us. And don't forget to tune in for new episodes coming up.
Yes, follow Being Extra on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Make sure you wash your hands and be safe out there.